Welcome back to the channel. It's been a crazy week trying to keep up with all the new info that keeps popping up about the rap scene in Jacksonville. Since Fulio died, I haven't heard any news about anybody dying on both sides of the war, so I think this is a good start towards putting an end to it. Everybody is just doing their own thing and staying out the way. Nothing else could be more helpful for their careers. This video is just another update on what I've seen happening on the Jacksonville rap scene. I'll be talking about Rashad Murphy's recent court appearance, the prosecutors using Trap Lord Ross's gang chart as evidence of the war in Jacksonville, and Kshordy's latest court appearance in the Duval County Court. Without wasting any time, let's get right into the video. Let's start with Rashad Murphy's court appearance. Let's see what Channel News 8 had to say about it.
One of the men accused of killing rapper Julio Fulio appeared in a Tampa courtroom today. 30-year-old Rashad Murphy is one of 5 suspects in the case. And as News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson reports, detectives believe the killing was sparked by a long-standing feud.
Tampa Police Detective Juan Ramos says one of the shooters was Rashad Murphy.
At this point, the shooters exit the Impala and begin to approach the victim's position on foot.
Today's hearing is to determine if Rashad Murphy should be held in jail without bond until his trial. 3 other suspects have been arrested in this case. One other suspect is still at large. In Tampa, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
As you guys heard, Rashad Murphy is going to be held in jail without bond. The reason for that is because a judge said that there's enough evidence to prove that he took part in killing Fulio. This isn't even the first time a judge said something like that in this case. Another judge also said something similar when Gutazay and Sean appeared in court.
The judge ordered that all 3 suspects will be held without bond until trial.
I'm finding that there is a substantial probability that all 3 defendants committed the dangerous crimes that they are charged with.
Now, if you ask me, I find it a bit strange that the judges are hinting that they already believe that all 4 of them are responsible. I've never heard of judges being allowed to say something like that before the trial even begins, but I guess it's something allowed in Tampa. In any case, just based on what they say alone, it's clear that none of them will be coming home anytime soon, even Davion if he gets caught. There's just too much evidence against them, so much so that the judges are hinting that they're siding with the prosecutors. At this point, I'm just waiting to see how they'll be presenting their arguments in court as soon as trial begins. But as it is right now, I say none of them are beating this case. The next thing I've seen is Trap Lord Ross saying the feds used his chart to show the people responsible for killing Fulio. Take a listen.
So people calling me the feds. Apparently now I am the fed. Apparently the feds are literally... Apparently I'm a rung above the feds now. Alright, I can't believe what I'm seeing, people. I've just gone online, I've gone on the timeline, and I've seen Remo from No Jumper has posted a clip that's apparently from the actual news, saying that the feds or the cops or whoever's operating the police operations in Jacksonville looking into the murder of Fulio have created a matrix listing exactly who is involved in the murder of Fulio and the adjacent gangs.
And arrival of the ATK and 1200 gang in Jacksonville.
I've had a look at this. The feds have not come up with this. That's my matrix from the Jacksonville video. That's mine. That's actually, I made that. I made that myself. Some members of this group have been known to represent under the S4C, Team Michi, Bevel 5 or B5, Lil Popper, Greenlight, Lil Leaky, and Suge. So, that's the ATK crew. So people calling me the feds. Apparently now I am the fed. Apparently the feds are literally... Apparently I'm a rung above the feds now. I actually can't believe my eyes. This can't possibly be real news, can it? Is this real? Is this a real thing? Let me know down below if you guys think this is a real thing. But apparently, the feds are just grabbing stuff from YouTube videos now and running with it. Or at least the news are.
He's basically talking about this part of the news report.
Jones was a known member of the 6 Block gang and a rival of the ATK and 1200 gang in Jacksonville. Each gang made a rap video about the other. We can't play all of the sound from the video because it's just too profane. But Detective Richard Nieder says these videos are records of one gang bragging about killing members of other gangs.
Now, if you ask me what I think about all that info, I say that the people saying that Trap Lord Ross is part of the feds have definitely got it twisted. Personally, I didn't hear the prosecutor saying that he's the one that came up with the chart, but the prosecutors are using it to show which gangs they say are responsible for Fulio's death. So to me, it just seems like Trap Lord Ross indirectly helped the detectives find a picture that shows which gangs are part of the war in Jacksonville when he dropped his documentary talking about it. A lot of people consider his documentary to be the closest to the truth about what's really going on in the war in Jacksonville. You can clearly tell by the amount of views and likes in the video. So I get why the detectives used his photo as evidence of the war. I say they were just lazy to come up with their own chart and instead chose to rely on Ross's chart because his video breaking down the war in Jacksonville is the most popular one on YouTube. But this just goes to show that even though YouTubers talk about the war in Jacksonville, detectives can also use what we say in these videos to back up what they also find out about the war. So basically I say that Trap Lord Ross is not part of the feds, but it looks like his photo definitely helped them piece together which gangs are responsible in killing Fulio. Whether this was by mistake or it was on purpose is up to you guys to decide. But for me, I say it was by mistake. The next court appearance that I've seen recently is by Kshordy. He appeared in the Duval County Court for his pretrial hearing about a week ago. Let's take a look into what they said about the pretrial.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sheila Loyce on behalf of the state. We're ready to call the case of Therese Poe, 23 on the court's calendar. Very well. Judge, appearing by Zoom is going to be a stand-in counsel. Jonathan Jordan is in trial today, so it's Dana, D-A-Y-N-A Clark, C-L-A-R-K.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Dana Clark on behalf of Mr. Poe.
Good morning. And Judge, we have a few depositions left as far as both defendants, Poe and Sykes. Sykes still has more left. Mr. Boston is in trial today, so I'm going to wait and see if he's going to make it to court before his trial starts. But I would probably recommend, we've been given a deadline by this court of October 15th for both parties to list any experts that might be listed before the November trial. I would probably recommend approximately 30 days out to see how we are on depots and listing of the experts, which would take us into that week, that first week in October. I think it starts with September 30th and goes into the first week in October.
Sure. Is October 2nd okay?
That's fine with the state. I would defer to the defense
Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine.
Okay. We'll come back on October 2nd and see where we're at.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure some of you already know why Kshordy is in pretrial right now, but for those of you who don't know, let me give you guys a small summary about what happened to him. Kshordy has been accused of committing a murder on the 28th of September, 2021. As it is today, his trial is set to begin this coming November. The prosecutors say he's responsible for killing 187 No-Face along with Tufo, who's his co-defendant. The trial was actually supposed to begin on the 10th of June this year, but Kshordy and Tufo asked the judge to push back their trial date. The reason for that is because they wanted to depose Spinabins and Greenlight, who are both witnesses to what happened to the victim. To depose simply means to testify about something. So basically they wanted Greenlight and Spinabins to agree to come and testify in court in the upcoming trial in November about what happened to the victim. As you guys already know, Spinabins and Greenlight were in the car when Kshordy and Tufo allegedly shot it up, and No-Face got hit and died as a result. The police in Jacksonville have documented Tufo and Kshordy as gang members, and that Kshordy is affiliated with either Bully Gang or We All We Got. Spinabins, on the other hand, is affiliated with 1200. Even though Kshordy asked the judge to depose Spinabins, Spins refused to do so. It's only Greenlight that agreed to be deposed for whatever reason. They also say that Greenlight talked to Spinabins over the phone when he was being deposed, and from what the prosecutor heard from Greenlight talking to Spinabins, it looked like Spins was somewhere in Georgia at the time. As it is today, nobody knows if Spinabins really was able to get deposed since they asked him to back in April. Spins did release a song talking about being asked to be deposed, which he dropped in April though. It's called Letter to Kshordy. In the song, he was basically saying that it's not fair for Kshordy to ask him to be deposed because he's not the one who made him jump off the porch, and that when he was in trial for a crime they said he committed in the past, he was there to deal with the consequences all by himself instead of relying on his ops to get him out. Now if you ask me, asking Spins and Greenlight to be deposed for trial was a smart move on Kshordy's side. When the news first came out at the time, a lot of fans were wondering if Spinabins and Greenlight would agree to be deposed or not. They were both faced with a hard choice to make. If they agreed to be deposed and ended up showing up for the trial in November to testify that Kshordy and Tufo really did kill the victim, then a lot of people would call them snitches and they'd lose a lot of respect. with their careers as rappers being affected too as a result. On the other hand, if they show up to court and say that Kshordy and Tufo weren't the ones who killed the other victim, then they both would stand a chance to beat the case and be free of all charges against them. Spinabenz and Greenlight are the key witnesses to what happened. So if Kshordy stands a chance to beat this trial, it's a good idea for him to rely on Spinabenz and Greenlight to not snitch on him. At the same time, Spinabenz not showing up to be deposed was also a smart move as well. With him doing that, no one can say he snitched, and at the same time his op gets to face trial all on his own. Under normal circumstances, it would be a dumb move to ask the witness to show up for your trial if you're accused of a murder. But in this case, Kshordy is using Spinabenz and Greenlight's reputation as gang members against them. Their reputation is seriously on the line. I can't say Greenlight showing up to be deposed was a smart move or not though. The fact that he agreed to show up for trial could mean he'll either snitch or say that his ops weren't responsible. I don't know if he'll actually appear again for the trial in November like he agreed to, but we'll see when it starts. One thing I can say though is that with Spinabenz being the bigger rapper and gang member of the both of them, I think Greenlight took it upon himself to shoulder all the blame for everything that's about to happen in trial in order to protect Spinabenz's reputation and career. If that's really the case, then I can respect it. He's putting his own reputation and career on the line, so I wonder if he'll really be able to deal with what people will have to say about him if he does show up to testify at trial or not. We'll see how that unfolds as soon as the trial starts. That's pretty much all I have to say about the court hearings that happened recently. With everything that's been happening, it's clear to tell that being a gang member, or being associated with one, has a lot of risks attached to it. Not only do you have to worry about your ops trying to kill you and your family, but you have to worry about being caught and spending the rest of your life in prison. Even Alicia, who isn't even a documented gang member, also faces life in prison simply because she was a lookout in Fulio getting killed. So to anyone out there that's considering joining a gang or becoming associated with one, I say you should stay away from the streets if spending time in prison or getting your family in danger isn't something you want to experience. For the last couple of years, prosecutors have been very serious in cracking down on gang activity, and it's mostly because of all the songs that have been dropped celebrating people's deaths. It doesn't matter to them if you're a good person on the inside. If they want to get you, then they'll do everything in their power to do so. They even have the majority of the public on their side to back up any sentence that a judge comes up with, because at the end of the day, it's in the interest of justice for all the victims affected. Asking your fans for help when you get caught, like Kshordy tried to do back in March, simply isn't going to work because at the end of the day it's the judge that has your life in his hands. I'll see you guys in the next video.